What an interesting day. Bitcoin pulls a nice little well to the upside. FBI is seeking the Freedom of Information Act to know who it is. Who is Satoshi? Who is it? Now, I know I've seen your comments. You know, CIA have created Bitcoin so that the FBI can go and find it and all of that stuff. You know what? Regardless of who it is, what it is, a non-US person, we're going to get into all of that. The question is, do you really care? That's the thing. If you found out who Satoshi was, would that change your mind about Bitcoin? Hell, you'd probably find out who it is and be like, I'm buying more. And if you found out it was someone you didn't like, well, no one likes anyone anyway, so it's nothing new. But it has got people talking about it. Now, that's obviously keeping people's attention on Bitcoin. The bigger picture right now, ladies and gentlemen, is the CPI data that's coming out tomorrow. Tonight's live is going to prepare you for it. Of course, we'll be going live after the CPI data, which is going to dictate exactly where we are in terms of the fiscal policy with the Federal Reserve. Are they going to cut those rates? Prices have decreased. That's great news. NASDAQ makes a move to the upside, puts me in a little bit of a tricky situation with my short, so I had to hedge myself and trade Bitcoin today. Now we're up. So we're just going to wait and see how this play with the CPI could come in, because they've done some statistics. And it says that 52% of investors believe that tomorrow is going to be a risk-on event. That means sell your nan, sell your dog, sell your lungs, and buy assets. The biggest drop in the stock market that has happened recently could effectively end up getting recovered. Speculation's coming out, and they're even believing that NASDAQ and S&P could be gunning for the all-time highs again. What a fitting scenario to send the stock market all the way up before we cut rates. Hello, Fed pivot. But we said 52%. All right? The rest of the 48 believe that we could be going into a recession. We know JP Morgan thinks that's the case. Bank of America doesn't. So when you're hearing that sort of information, guys, what are you doing? How can you make a decision? Two of the biggest banks, okay? Mutual funds, you name it. Well, one's a bank, so we know that is Bank of America. They're saying no recession. JP Morgan says 35% chance there will be. How do we make sense of it? Well, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully I can help you make sense of it, because one thing that we do need to understand is the markets will always move to liquidity, and that's the truth. So, even though I'm sat here sweating out in this 2-bit aircon system in this supposed conference room, the internet is fire. Don't get it twisted. You know, 456 megabyte upload. That's wonderful for me, because we are servicing the net. We are giving, you know. But I am breaking out, bro, man. I can't take it. I can't. And I can't wait to get back to the UK. I really can't, but apparently there's a heat wave over there. So that's where we are. Tonight we're going to break down a little bit of price action. I'm going to throw an idea at you because they did it last time. Okay? I think they're going to do it again. I'm also going to talk to you through my trading with BTC today. We managed to exploit the pump. Platinum members, hopefully you guys took advantage of the pump too. It was a tricky one, but I'm going to break down my logic to why I took the trade. And then hopefully you'll be able to understand that when you get into that same situation in the future, you'll be able to replay what I was witnessing at the time of the actual move. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's two. Anyway, I'm trying here, all right? I'm trying. Let's get with the program, gang. Hold on. Jesse, happy birthday to you, my bro. Twice. Tino's favorite weather is still the 50 EMA. Anyways, let's get with the program, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Right. So, first things first, now that S&P notches its biggest 4-day rally this year. And US producer prices increased by less than forecast in July. So that's happy days. Starbucks ousts its CEO and taps Chick-fil-A's Brian Nicole as boss. So, you know, the coffee ain't so nice on the other side for the Starbucks CEO. But that's irrelevant, okay? What we need to understand is the following. Stocks rallied and bond yields fell after the latest inflation reading reinforced speculation the Federal Reserve will be able to deploy its widely anticipated interest rate cut in September. Ladies and gentlemen, it's like a double-edged sword. We need the interest rate cut so that money can be cheaper for us. When I say that, that means anyone that wants to go and get a mortgage, anyone that's in the corporate America that wants to initiate a merger and acquisition, how much money can they borrow from the bank to allow that to be the case? How long is it going to take them to recuperate the actual payment or the lump sum that they have borrowed from the bank over what period of time? Okay? Banks need their money as soon as possible. So with interest rates so high, people are naturally going to be borrowing money and having to spread it over a longer period of time. But when you cut the rates, that means you that can borrow money. It's not going to be costing you too much and you don't have to have it over a longer period of time. That would be the sweetest spot for the markets. The thing is, I've got a little bit of a suspicion about this. As we go into it all, we go down. It says here, let me just roll it. A survey conducted by 22V Research showed 52% of investors expect the reaction to Wednesday's consumer price index to be risk on. That means start buying. Hence why we said sell your nan, sell your dog, sell your lung. All right? Risk on means looking for higher risk opportunities. We've witnessed everybody going into the bonds, but all of a sudden we've had all the bonds taking a nosedive to the downside, which could be setting up for what could happen tomorrow. Look, I mean, this is a 20-minute chart. You've got a huge gap here in the bonds market. They're probably going to be looking to fill that, but the bonds market might be going up for the wrong reason. Okay? Going back into the article itself, you can see it says the following. The percentage of respondents expecting a recession has stayed elevated. This is a problem. I would be more to the idea that tomorrow's data could be promising if there was more than interest or belief from investors that the CPI data is going to be good tomorrow. Okay? Let's just stick with me on this one. Let's make an assumption and tell me if you think whether you agree or not or disagree, okay? How are we making sense of an event that we don't know about? How can you be definitive with your decision? You can't. But history tells us that this game is rigged. Anyone that tells you that it isn't is market efficiency hypothesis. It's no, I don't believe that at all. The game is rigged, all right? It's one big old bookie place, trading places. Those of you who know, know. All right? Let me bring it to you like this. Since what happened with the Japanese yen, stick with me here. Since they started offloading with the Japanese yen, the carry trade, if you are new to the channel, go and watch last week's Monday's video on why Bitcoin dropped. This will make sense to what I'm saying right now, right? All the investors started to going into bonds. That's a problem. Why? Because the stock market was going down and they were going into the US bonds. That means investors were looking for safety in terms of risk management. That means if I've got $10 million portfolio and 60% of it is made up of stocks and 40% of it is made up of bonds, I'm going to try and get rid of as many stocks as I can to effectively go into more bonds because it's less risk. So the stock market goes down, the bonds market moves up. Now all of a sudden we've got the CPI data. There's been a big drop on the bonds. Everyone's taken risk on. Call it a relief rally. Okay? Could it be that the NASDAQ is getting primed for a reversal? This move to the upside is too fast. Okay? Now, the only way that this move to the upside is going to sustain itself is if the data tomorrow comes in good. Because what more data does the Fed need? Inflation's going down. In my opinion, inflation tomorrow with the reading at 3%, it would need to be at 2.5%. And the markets would literally lose their brains. They would be knocking on any stock and grabbing up everything and anything. Even if the reading comes in at 2.8, that will be wonderful. That does grant the Fed the reason to cut the rates. That would even encourage the idea of more of an interest rate cut, a jumbo cut in the interest rates. Not 25 basis points, not 50 points, 75 basis points. Okay? Or one whole point. But if we don't get that reading, if we get it in line with expectations, that means it comes in at 3%. That is still a problem. It really is still a problem. Because it can actually go back up again. Tensions overseas could actually escalate that. We could get a reading on the employment market which suggests that everything's all good. Looking at it from a trading perspective, ladies and gentlemen, if the NASDAQ's going to keep on climbing higher, I would expect that a good reading tomorrow on the CPI, NASDAQ would effectively come back and clear this 19K range. I've hedged myself in my short on the NASDAQ, so I'm all good with that now. But the trade is still open. Now, how I hedged myself was when I traded Bitcoin today, and I'm going to be showing you exactly what I'm going to when I talk about that in a few seconds. But my belief is that if the data comes in line with expectations, the markets will still be on the edge about whether the Fed's going to be giving us a big cut or a small cut. It needs to be below 3%, simple as. Any reading at 3% or even above, my days, that will just completely rip everything down. We'll see a nice move up to then just quickly go back down again. All right? They're expecting a recession. 50-50. That's where we are with the data over here. Okay? Now let's talk about what they think about with crypto. We go to Hades. Crypto analyst issues Bitcoin warning amid fresh correction below 60K. So the word on the street is Bitcoin can't seem to get above 60. 60 seems to be that sweet spot I said, man. 60K is a new 20K. It's a psychological range. You see in articles all over the place, people talking about Bitcoin 60K, 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 58, 60K, 58. Going into it all. He says here, according to the trader, an immediate move below 58K could spell trouble for the crypto king. 58,000 will be the level of interest for me for Bitcoin pulling back is expected. The reaction from that area should be telling. Bounce strongly, we test high levels. Weak bounce or non-existent, we go to Hades. Well, how do you identify Hades? What do you mean by that, my friend? Well, let's just look at it from the perspective of the vector candles, just to make it easier for everyone. We'll just go on to the daily time frame to work out exactly what Hades looks like. In your opinion, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to know, okay? War tonight will drop Bitcoin to 50, XRP to 50 cents. You see, what's impressionable about your comment right there, my friend, is a 50K Bitcoin, that's a 10K drop. That is pretty scary right there. That's a big move. But XRP to 50 cents, that's just as good as an initial coin offering price. It'll be only exactly where it was before. And you only expect it with XRP. I hope you guys took something off XRP with this absolute nut job. He gave it all back, man. That's what's really frustrating about this dog of an asset. It just gave it all back. I just bloody can't stand it at best of times. Never mind. I'm done with XRP. I still hold it. I still buy it. Never mind. But what does Hades look like to you? Hades to me would be this. 27K Bitcoin. That's what Hades looks like to me. Okay? Bitcoin goes anywhere beyond that, and it goes all the way down to, say, for example, it comes back down to 17K, then you're better off just asking for an EMP to blow everything. All right? That'll be depressing, or would it? I mean, come on. Bitcoin will always be around. So the fact that there's longevity behind Bitcoin means that it can go to any price point it wants till it needs to get to the price that it should be at. I think Bitcoin's going to go to those significant price zones maybe in a few years' time. Not until Wall Street's had its fair bet with it. Like I said, Bitcoin ETF options trading is getting released very soon, 2025. That's going to make all the difference, ladies and gentlemen. All right? But I think, yeah, 27K, that would be a handsome short to the downside. A 54% correction. That's light work for Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. That is light work. You know? Tina, there's 20 million bids at 50K. Tina, Uncle Tino, just tell me if it's going up or down daily chart. To be responsible with that comment, all right, from my perspective, to tell you if it's going to go up or down, I need to know how much money you're playing with. That means how much of a percentage are you prepared to risk before we go into the CPI data. That means if you're going to then effectively want to know if Bitcoin's going to go up or down and then forget about it, then just stay a holder. You don't need to know about what Bitcoin's going to do now. You're a collector of Bitcoin. But when you say up or down, that could suggest to me that you're a trader, that you want to try and short it or try and go long from it. My opinion, you wait until tomorrow because you'll have a clearer view of Bitcoin going up or down. CPI data comes in good, in line with expectations, and it comes in lower even. That means risk is back on. Fed's going to cut the interest rates. Dollar ends up becoming cheaper. The yields are going to come down. The bonds are going to even out, and the stock market's just going to go back to its all-time highs. And we have missed the recession. The soft landing has been achieved. What Fed pivot? Ain't going to happen. That's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's not so easy, simple, up or down. That's why I say to you, well, when you're looking at Bitcoin on the daily time frame, you have to look at it and say to yourself, there is the possibility, and we can't say that it won't. I've said it before. Bitcoin will recover these vector candles. I said it. It will recover this vector candle here. Probably dismissed it, but it ended up coming back into that vector candle. The next vector candles that Bitcoin's going to be gunning for, in my opinion, is this blue vector candle, green vector candle region, and it was pretty bloody close to taking it, okay? They're coming back. If anything, they're coming back into the wick, all right? But we said September, 80, 85K Bitcoin. The faster they move down, ladies and gentlemen, the quicker they'll reverse back up. That's what you're looking for going into from tonight, going into tomorrow, because we're getting two reactions to the marketplace. And I'm not talking about the reaction when the news comes out and then we wait for the New York session to open and they too are going to react. No. The reaction that we're getting tomorrow is this. Inflation data goes down. Yeah, baby. I'm going to plow into it. Why? Because now we're reacting to another thing. Fed's going to cut the rates. Awesome. Money's going to be cheaper. You've got two reactions tomorrow. Holders, sit this one out. If the data comes in good, you have until the start of the New York session because they could pump Bitcoin up and then they could bring it back down a little bit and then they'll continue the narrative to the upside. Looking at what Bitcoin did today, did anyone exploit the move to the upside today? Can you give me a hey ya? Did anyone exploit the move to the upside today? Because I'm going to explain how I did it today. This will be interesting. Yes. Yes, you got some flavor here. Give me a 1, give me a 2. Where's the liquidity coming from? When the money printers go, then it's all got. Listen, I saw an interview and the gentleman said that whatever happens, the Fed's just going to save the economy. He's not going to let it collapse. When you pull the US dollar away from the standard of gold, ladies and gentlemen, that gives you free room to do whatever you like. You can wait till the economy just slumps. No worries. Start printing. Saw it, shorted it. Okay, I've been exploiting the move since 2016. Happy days to you, my bro. Nope, sat on my hands. Okay, hope Bitcoin hits the 47.42. No, I got exploited, Tino. Do you know the way Bitcoin tends to do a fourth higher high before a big short? Okay, they've been printing for over a year and minting USDT and USDT. NASDAQ moving way better than Bitcoin, Tino. Dread daily. I agree. But because I'm not at my office and I haven't got my charts and I ain't got my depth of markets, I'm stuck with crypto, aren't I? Let's break it all down what I did today, okay? Oh, before we do that, the main topic. FBI's Cryptic Freedom of Information Act response hints at Satoshi Nakamoto's mysterious identity. A non-US person, third party. Who could it be? Yeah, Dan Pena saying, if you knew who the creator of Bitcoin was, you would do everything to sell it. Didn't he come out and say that it was Putin? But like I said, even if you knew who it was, would you really sell it? If you wouldn't sell, if you knew, and this is a question I got for you, right? If you knew who the creator of crypto Bitcoin was, if you knew who Satoshi Nakamoto was, all right? And I know there's conspiracy theories about it, about the name itself is making up certain things. All right, let's just park that, all right? Conspiracy theorists need something to work with, all right? So just bear with me on that. But if you knew it was someone and you didn't like that person, would you get rid of your Bitcoin? Because you know what? Sorry, I'm going to answer that question for you, even though it's a question that you should be answering. I would still like to know your opinion, but there's a reason why I'm going to say this. You ain't selling your Bitcoin, bro. No, you're not. Because you're in it for the money. Forget the tech, bro. Anyone that says they're in it for the tech, you are laughable. No chance. That means you're going to hold Bitcoin when it gets to 49 million and you're going to still be saying, hold on a second, I'm in it for the tech. Shut up, bro. You're done. Get out. My days. You're going to hold your Bitcoin all the way up to 49 million and not sell it, my bro? And when I say 49 million, that is per se, dear, our beloved Michael Saylor. 2049 or something like that. Yeah, 2049. 13 or 49 million. For God's sake, man, let's be realistic with it all. But who knows? So yeah, this is where we are with it. You know, it's hit Twitter, X, whatever, and there it is. Sigh from Dave Troy. This just in, the FBI, which asserts that Satoshi Nakamoto, the apocryphal creator, I can't even say that, of Bitcoin is a third-party individual and can neither confirm or deny the existence of any records on this person. Typically, this is their answer for requests for non-US persons. I don't want to tell you, man. I made Bitcoin, you know. Anyways, let's get to some price action, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so let me explain to you what I did today. So, where was it? So, today's trading, okay, was... Here's the first position that I took. So let me just scroll down. You might see it here. So we cleared $4,128 on Bitcoin's move to the upside. So the entry was 59,988 and we sold it at 60,970. Okay, that was the first trade. And the second trade itself. So here is the first one right there. So 58, no, so this was the second one. Right, let me bring up the first one. So that's there where that one was, okay? So 363%. So we went in at 59,988 and we sold at 60,970. Second one was 58,872 and we sold at 59,397, okay? Now, this is where it gets interesting, okay? Where is it? Go over here. Here's the statistics right here. Cost me $115 in fees to open this trade, okay? And this trade, because Bitcoin was moving aggressively, I dropped the leverage, and the leverage was around 200 and where was it? Let's just bring that up for a second. Where was my leverage? That one was 226. Yeah, 226 leverage. No, not that one. No, that was the right one. Yes. Yes, there you go. So I was using 226 leverage, all right? So a relatively small amount of leverage on that trade. So we used $1,133 on that trade. We cleared $4,122. On the second trade that we took, we only used $430, all right? and we made $1,750 right there. And that was with our entry point, and then it cost us 89 bucks, and deal price was 59,397. And of course, we have, where are we at? Oh, this is a joke. Where was it? Yeah, 58,872, 59,397. All right. So it was a decent day trading Bitcoin. But why? Why did we take this trade? Well, let's just zoom out for a second and understand what we're talking about. We're talking about this move right here with the green vector candle. Okay. So for the platinum members, this is what we shared today. We shared this logic. Okay. And I said to them, wait for Bitcoin to come down first, because we were looking for Bitcoin to effectively test this range. Now, this is the Monday's Asian session low, and this is Monday's Asian session high. You've heard me talk about it before. Okay. Now, with that being said, what I was anticipating was Bitcoin, two scenarios. We were looking for longs inside of these ranges. First zone right here, or second zone down here. All right. I will always tell the guys, what could you anticipate? What is likely to happen in the event of you being in the position? What could happen first? All right. You walk down the street. You anticipate that as you're walking down the street, your feet are going to be working and you're going to be walking straight. All right. But you could trip over something. So you're going to be a little bit more conscious. Okay. So you're going to be aware of your surroundings. You're going to anticipate that you could trip up. So you're aware of it. But ultimately, if you keep on walking straight and you're aware of your surroundings, you're ultimately going to get down to wherever you need to go. Okay. That's the same logic here. We anticipate that if you were to go long in this range right here around the 58,165, factor in that they could go down, because that is an important area of liquidity. Now, when we go back into the chart itself, you can see Bitcoin did not take that range. Okay. We go look right there. Happy days. They didn't take the Asian session range. They did come down. They came down towards this point right here, which was roughly around the 58,411 zone. We had effectively put down the 58,165 region. All right. And I say to them, if you take the trade beforehand, load up when it works in your favor. Okay. The same thing for Ethereum. We wanted to see exactly the same logic right there. We want to see Ethereum try and make the move up. We go over to Ethereum quickly. We can see that Ethereum has not really done too well. It did come down, but it effectively came back up. I wanted to see the daily open for Ethereum, and we got the daily open for Ethereum. Okay. We go into Solana, and you can see Solana with the two scenarios, because I was saying to them, Solana moves differently. Be careful if she sweeps the Asian session low, and if she can't hold that point, it will collapse. But if she can sustain this area here, yippee-ki-yay to the upside. And then we go over to Solana, and you can see Solana did do that. And that's why I say be very careful, because it's been tricky. Take your profits and run. And look what Solana did. She came up, she came down, she then pumped up, and then came back down again. Okay. But overall, Bitcoin was the star of the show, in my opinion, because it did make a nice, clean move to the upside. Okay. So I believe the guys must have made a penny or two with regards to that. What else happened across the board? We wanted to see Euro make a move to the upside as well. We go over to Euro. And you can see Euro cleared the range. They came back down, which is what we were looking for. Wanted to see them come into this range right here to initiate longs, wait for it to go down first, to effectively come and test the Asian session low at the start of the week, Monday, reversal to the upside, cleared the Asian session high. I was only looking for the daily open. If anyone else held that trade, you would have been laughing your way. Okay. If you want these sort of setups, ladies and gentlemen, because during these market times, it's been very difficult. It has, because prices have been all over the place. But when you've got the vectors left behind, that's when you're able to exploit. Okay, so anyone wants these sort of setups, go check out the Traders Reality website, join the Platinum membership. You get a 20% discount on these setups. I do 5 a day, 6 assets, and I update the guys 3 times a day, 5 days a week. So you don't miss out on anything. But ultimately, you've got to take the trade. The community and the Discord, it's in there to help you understand it. I can't answer everyone's questions, but I do read everything that's in the Discord, and that's where I start talking about it. Or I'll do videos at the end of the week on the weekly review and cover strategies that people have been asking. Maybe we could try this, maybe we could try this. And I pull it all together and I present it to them on the Saturday, which is the weekly review. Okay. If you want that, go check out the Traders Reality website. Just go to the membership tabs and all the information is there. But use the discount code 20% off, which is new members. Okay? New member. It's pinned to the top of the chat anyway. So let me just get into it. What made me take the trade? Well, I'll tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. My logic that Bitcoin was going to go up was there in the first place because we had it right here. I did my analysis in the morning and I said to myself, this is what I'm expecting. I'm looking for Bitcoin to move up today. There is reversals happening. Why? Because Asia low had not been breached. The Asian session had already been swept in this area right here. I was expecting longs. Okay. We go back into Bitcoin and this is where I was taking my trades. What was it that was making me believe Bitcoin was going to go up? I started going over to this bad boy right here. Now, this is where I started paying attention. Look at this. In front of you, this is what I was looking at, okay? The bids had come into play in this range to the downside, the move to the downside, right? So this is where Bitcoin had effectively come down, which was the Asian session low. What do you always hear me saying? Don't do anything until you start seeing blue or green vector candles. We've just come from a move to the downside. Then we've seen this big collective of vector candles right here. Then you've got this violet vector block right here, okay? And then you've got the blue vector candle. You go down to smaller time frames, ladies and gentlemen, you will see a collection of blue and green vector candles appearing. This was the Brinks box, and the Brinks box was hard today. It was. Because they had effectively formed the low, they formed the high, but they didn't test it. But when they tested the high, they came back down. That red vector candle was the clue for me. Okay? Because they aggressively came back up from that point. Then the green vector started coming into action. And then I started to compare what was going on in terms of the order flow. Now, with regards to the order flow, they started to offload on the liquidations. You see down here, there? That's when the short liquidation started to get triggered. Now, the short liquidations came into play because of this. So if you look at this, this was at 2 o'clock. What did Bitcoin do before 2 o'clock? It came down. Look, 2 o'clock right here, right? We had this 2 o'clock, and then it started to work its way down. People started working their shorts, okay? That's when you see the green vector candle coming into play, and they reversed price back up, which effectively led to the liquidations coming into action. Because look, there was not that much liquidity happening here. You see that down there? There's no liquidations really being triggered other than longs. But they'd initiated that, and that was at what time? 11 o'clock in the morning. So that was the sweep of Asia. They got liquidated. Then the markets went flat. Then they started to pick up on the short liquidations. That then gave me the belief that there's probably going to be a run for that liquidity. And when we zoom out of this, what I was witnessing was there was a ton of liquidity to the upside that had not been tapped, okay? So I then compared and contrast the idea of maybe that Bitcoin holding the Asian session low, because I updated the guys after the New York live and I said, this area is consistent with price moving higher. That logic in my mind said to me that they swept the Asian session low for last night. They didn't bother going down into the Asian session low for the week, which was Monday's low. It tells me that that range in Bitcoin was sustained to the upside. There was going to be a good chance it was going to go higher. What could I do else, ladies and gentlemen? What could I do? I could do nothing but take the trade. And that's what you've got to also say to yourself. You can pull up as much analysis as you want. You can pull up 1,000 levels of confluence. And then it comes to the 999th confluence. You're waiting for that one bit of confluence to come in to make it the 1,000 checklist of confluences. You don't take the trade and it just disappears and goes in your favor like no tomorrow. You could have 1,000 checklist confluences, right? And you only need one and it works in your favor. Trading starts when the trade is on. There's no trading beforehand. It's just hearsay. That's all it is. Put your money where your mouth is, take the trade. Manage the expectation, because all your analysis that you're doing whilst you're waiting for the trade to work out is going to be aiding you into understanding if is price going to go in your favor or not. Well, how long? And you know what the funny thing is, right? I was in profit within the first 10, 15 minutes of the move. And that's what warranted me to hold on to the trade, because I had realized the returns so quickly and they still hadn't taken the liquidity that was above. That made me hold on to the trade. That's when I started seeing the vector candles coming into play. Green vector, green vector, green vector. Then I had a stopping volume candle right here. The psychological level right there was in sight. That's what I wanted to see price go towards. So I held on until that point. And then, of course, took the money, paid myself, got out. And then it just collapsed from that point. Happy days. I'm done for the day. Ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to know about a trade working before you take it. You don't. You really don't. And anyone that tells you that they do, well, it doesn't work like that. And I've sat there enough times to understand that logic. How many of you have done it? How many of you have done such great analysis? And how many of you said, my analysis was flipping fire on this, man, and I still lost? Welcome. You even lose to a pair of aces as well. A pair of aces can lose. All right? Statistically, it's the best hand pre-flop. And then the flop turns out and you get spanked by Jack Deuce off suit. I'm very bitter with that because when I went to the PokerStars Estrella's PTA, the PokerStars European Tour, Estrella's PokerStars European Tour, when I played out there, that's exactly what I lost to. Anyways. Hold on a second. Here's an important, here we go. We got a dude here. You talk after the chart is printed. It's easy to talk and say, but when you see nothing, you can't come and tell us it's going up or down. How? Well, my bro, look, man, I'm taking trades. I share the positions like I did today. I took the same trades, all right? Will they work all the time? Nope. There's no guarantee. And if you're looking for guarantees in trading, ciao, ciao. I'll even get my butler, Samuel. He will get the taxi. He will drive it and he will take you to another industry. No guarantees in this game. Sorry, it's brutal. It's the truth. But I ain't going to sugarcoat nothing. Because you guys, you either learn it the hard way, spunt your cash, or you can just listen to for free and just take it from me. I've lost a shocking amount of money learning this game. But it wasn't actually learning the game. It was learning myself. Trust me, you can do it a lot more cheaper. Yeah, I talk in hindsight. Of course I talk in hindsight. But you go back and look at the channel. Go watch the videos, okay? Price is always going to the vector candles. Do we get them right every day? No, but they end up going back into it, all right? I don't take no glory for it. I get the glory when I see someone say, I get it. I will say, yeah, man, happy days. If he sees it and he gets it, then he'll know how to play it. Then it's on him with his risk management and all that gag. All right? People mistake trading that it's guaranteed. It's not. It's the worst game in the world. And it's not for the get rich quick adventurer. Don't think about, that's what I mean about crypto. It makes people think that you get rich straight away. Okay, inside information, this whale picked up 17 cents worth of this, paid whatever it was, $10, and he turned it into 50 million. How is that a strategy, bro? Because everyone will be doing it. Trading is about you guys, all right? I will talk about it in hindsight, and I admit that I'm talking in hindsight. But you go back, ladies and gentlemen, you just look at the history of the channel. These vectors repeat themselves, all right? Too many times, you know? But that's where we are. We had a good day today. I'm happy with my day. I can't complain about that. 6K. How long was our trade for? Open time, 20 past 5. 20 past 5, and we closed it at 6 minutes. Yeah, 4 minutes past 6. And then this one was a little bit longer, 1:45, and we closed it at 5 to 5. Done. Happy days. And yeah, I do talk about it after the fact, but I'm trading it at the same time. And I know you guys can do the same thing. Not back into vectors. There you go. It's there. Back into vector candle recovery. Just go and do it. I promise you, this repeats. It's the when. Is it always going to do the same thing? History never repeats itself, but it rhymes. Fuck. Anyways, Welcome to the hardest, easiest way to make money, ladies and gentlemen. With that being said, if you're busy trading crypto, that means you should be getting busy trading this challenge trading competition, ladies and gentlemen, BTCC. Go into the description of this live stream and join BTCC to participate in that trading competition. You get a 10% bonus. It's up to 100K. That means you can only deposit up to 100K to get the full 10K, I believe. And they've been around for 13 years. No KYC required. It's got some high leverage, but please be responsible with it. Don't use it if you don't understand it, all right? And if you are from the States, no KYC required, only if you start using fiat, okay? Cool. Go check that out. When you've joined up BTCC, then bring up this page here. It's linked below. And press register, and it will automatically register you, and then you can start trading in the competition. Still got 22 days yet. 76 people are in there, so happy days. All right? Cool. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope I didn't chew your ear off for too long. But tomorrow is a big day. CPI data's coming out. I would strongly recommend all the day traders not to trade. Wait till the CPI data comes in. Wait for the first move to occur, because if it's going to be favorable, Bitcoin's going to shoot up, then it will come back down, correct, leave a red vector candle, and then continue back up again. It's all on tomorrow. All right? So please be very careful with your trading. I've got nothing but love for you all. Please be safe. And I will be checking in with you all tomorrow morning. All right? I just read a question. Never mind. I'll answer it tomorrow. What? Before you leave, what do you think tomorrow? Down? My bro, is it really that simple? Down. Don't itch for it. Wait till tomorrow, man. Market ain't going nowhere. You know? If I say to you it's going to go down, right? Bitcoin shoots up. Then it goes down. You'll come to me and say, you said it was going to go down, Tina. That means you went short when I said, yeah, it's going to go down, because you got FOMO. But it shoots up, then comes down. I said Bitcoin's going to go down. Don't take that risk, my brother. I'll never guide you all to do that. Be responsible with it. I'm serious. This game can really fuck you up. Forgive my French, but that's the truth. Mad love and respect. Peace.